afternoon, I'm Christy Vieira. Our top story. Seneca can celebrate for Team Canada. Olympian Dara Howell took home Canada's 4th gold medal today. She scored 94.2 on her first run in women's slopestyle skiing this morning. The 19-year-old was at a loss of words after her victory. She said the shock wouldn't really hit her until later on. Howell received a number of supportive tweets from her fans, friends, and teammates. We'll have more details on Canada's progress in Sochi later in sports. And despite sexual controversies in Sochi, here at home, one sport has proven to be accepting of gay athletes. For Ryan Logan, the sport of rugby has openly accepted his sexuality. Anthony Salemi has more on one man's struggle to stay in the sport he loves.
It wasn't well received at first.
Ryan Logan was one of many young adults facing the difficulty of coming out to his family.
I wasn't expecting him to accept it right away.
Ryan came out at the age of 21. The thing that helped him most.
At the time, when I started playing rugby, I was about 14.
He played the sport all throughout high school.
I had thoughts, feelings, but at the same time, I was confused, much like a lot of kids my age.
After high school, Ryan eventually moved to Toronto while trying to identify with who he really was.
It wasn't until I played with the gay rugby team here that I started feeling more comfortable with the fact that I am a gay man and also a rugby player.
I mean, what's gay about rugby?
The Muddy York Rugby Football Club is one of 3 openly gay teams competing in Canada. This year, teams are training in this off-season to compete in the Bingham Cup being held later this summer in Australia. The Bingham Cup is named in memory for former San Francisco Fog player Mark Bingham. Mark Bingham was an openly gay rugby player who died during the tragic events of September 11th. Coach Eric DeMarb explains how the tournament began in his memory.
Andrew Hinton, Andrew Shea, Antonio.
Members of the San Francisco Fog and other already established gay rugby teams around the United States took it upon themselves to contact large gay communities within North America. There was obviously quite a bit of interest in a lot of cities, including Toronto.
Toronto's Muddy York Rugby Club has been the influence for Ryan to get back into the sport. It's also been a way for him to express who he is openly and freely and feel comfortable living his life. As Ryan puts it,
it will get better.
For Say News, I'm Anthony Salemi.
Thanks, Anthony. In our Markham campus area by Kennedy and Finch, a man was found wandering the streets severely beaten and handcuffed. He was found by a factory worker and rushed to a nearby hospital by paramedics. Police are trying to piece together how the incident happened. The man, believed to be in his 20s, suffered severe head injuries and remains in hospital with life-threatening injuries. Anyone with information on the case is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. Butterflies, nerves, and perspiration. We're no stranger to these feelings when in front of a large crowd. Sometimes these nerves can get the best of us, but the solution is closer than we think. Here's Carla Blanco with Health.
A new research states that sharing your anxieties with people who feel the same way can be an effective coping mechanism for dealing with stress. The study was published jointly out of the University of California, Santa Barbara and the University of Leuven in Belgium. 52 girls were paired up and asked to give a speech. But before giving that speech, they were told to discuss how they felt. Researchers then measured their levels of stress-related hormones and found that sharing how they felt helped to calm their nerves. So don't stress out, just talk to your classmates. You might think just because you're young, you can go on sleeping 4 to 5 hours a night. You might want to think again. A Swedish study found out that a good night's sleep may be critical for your brain health. The study was made at Uppsala University with 15 volunteers. Some of them were not allowed to sleep for a night, and the rest went to bed for 8 hours. Those who went without sleep showed a 20% increase in the molecules NSE and SOOB. These brain molecules rise in blood under conditions of brain damage, so you make sure you get that sleep. That's all for health. I'm Carla Blanco. Back to you, Christy.
Thanks, Carla. iPhone users here at Seneca, this is for you. A new operating system is coming your way. It seems like Apple has a new software update each month, but will they finally get rid of their bugs? Tara Stanton has more in Tech Talk.
Apple users, iOS 7.1 is on its way. The new update is expected to launch in early March. iOS 7.1 will reportedly include fixes for bugs such as battery issues and security problems with the Find My iPhone setting. The keyboard will also be getting a new look with bolder letters, and the Shift and Backspace keys will be highlighted. While one operating system is being updated, another one is shutting down. Microsoft says goodbye to Windows XP after 12 years. The company is reminding its XP users the program will expire on April 8th and is urging them to upgrade to Windows 8.1. Microsoft is asking users to keep their PCs protected. Frustrated with Flappy Bird, so is its Vietnamese creator. Nguyen Ha Dong says the game is ruining his simple life and he is planning to take it down. The popular game is no longer available to download, but if you already have it installed, you can still play. Flappy Bird was downloaded more than 50 million times on the App Store alone and was making $50,000 a day in advertising revenue. That's it for Tech Talk. I'm Tara Stanton. Back to you, Christy.
Thanks, Tara. Beer prices will skyrocket if deregulated by the province. This is one of many arguments circulating around what will impact Ontario in light of privatizing beer. Artur Shashlov spoke with students to see what the younger generation thinks. Artur?
Well, the beer store is not fond of the idea of privatizing beer, and there are consequences. For example, when Alberta privatized their liquor in 1993, the prices skyrocketed, but it also led to employment increase. Now, the president of the beer store says that if deregulation occurs, there might be a risk of booze being sold to the underage. And actually, a couple of college students that I've talked to today have admitted to drinking in high school and letting their older friends buy their booze for them. So there is that irresponsibility factor when it comes to the younger generation. When you're young, you have less restraint. But one college student mentioned that a good strategy is to let this law pass and see how the crowd reacts and then act accordingly. Christy?
Artur, what's the government's take on this issue?
Well, Kathleen Wynne says she's not ready to change any alcohol retail laws, but Tim Hudak is in favor of legalizing corner stores to sell booze. In fact, a couple of provinces have already adapted this idea, British Columbia and Quebec included. And even here in our own province, the Ontario Convenience Stores Association is pushing hard for the beer store to end its monopoly as well. Back to you.
Thanks, Artur. Canadians love coming attractions, but bad coffee and higher consumption debt are box office flops. Here's Anthony Salemi with business.
And now for our feature presentation. Theater chain Cineplex Odeon reported its attendance rose 1.6% over the last quarter to roughly 19 million visits. The increase in attendance is promising considering competition from websites like Netflix. The chain also reported that patrons are spending more at concessions. Sales are up 6.2%. Would you like some butter with that popcorn? This next idea certainly was dumb. Dumb Starbucks was shut down by Los Angeles health inspectors Monday for operating without a valid permit. The concept, founded by comedian Nathan Fielder, sold coffee out of an art gallery. The coffee profiles range from horrible to bitter. And students swimming in debt aren't the only ones. Equifax Canada reported that average consumer debt rose to $1.4 trillion. According to the Credit Bureau, Canadians seem to be able to take on the extra debt. The increase in debt signals a stabilizing economy and an improvement in the unemployment rate. So there may be a job waiting for you after graduation. That's it for business. I'm Anthony Salemi. Back to you, Christy.
Thanks, Anthony. A cultural gem has been spotted around town. Toronto welcomes its first Middle Eastern bridal show. This event focuses on boosting a soon-to-be bride Middle Eastern style. Artur Shashlov has the story.
Yes, here in East York Hotel, the dining hall is buzzing with the amazing world that is Middle East. A first of its kind, it has merchants from wedding cakes to wedding dresses to limo services and even shisha bars. Behind it all is a man with a passion to celebrate Middle Eastern culture. But for Sam Joshin, it has not been an easy ride. Have a look.
Get your ticket. Don't go away. Don't go away. Get your ticket.
Strength of character.
Mabruk.
This is what drives Sam on a daily basis.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you have your tickets up?
A former DJ, he has no problem with entertaining. Combined with his regard for Middle Eastern culture, Sam created this bridal show for anyone who's interested in adding Middle Eastern flavor to their own wedding. After all, it's not every day Toronto is exposed to something so unique.
They're a lot more extravagant in their designs.
Maybe in the Middle Eastern bridal show, maybe we add a touch if they want.
So are you guys excited? Is everybody excited?
But behind even the strongest of characters, one has to face realities.
We did our first bridal show. You're building a reputation, and you're ambitious, and people don't know what you have in mind. They don't know if you're gonna really put a true, genuine effort into producing something, or if you're looking to make a quick dollar.
Finding vendors, finding the right people for the job, and of course, finding enough time to get a good night's sleep. It's all part of the exciting but demanding task Sam has chosen. And it may as well get more demanding, as Sam says he's not 100% on how it turned out this year, but he's thrilled at the prospect of starting out. Christy?
Archer, what is 100% for Sam?
Well, one thing he's going to keep in mind for next year is the weather. He's hoping for a springtime showcase so that more people can attend. But like he mentioned, the most important thing is building that reputation for the client and letting them put all their trust into you. Back to you, Christy.
Thanks, Artur. Bullying has been a serious problem in the past couple of years, spiking suicide rates among young students. Emil Grant spoke to a student conduct officer here at Seneca to find out what can be done to prevent serious consequences.
Bullying among teenagers and post-secondary students is known to be a problem. I'm here at the Seneca Student Conduct Office with Student Conduct Officer Rachel Morris-Ohm. So Rachel, what do you feel are the types of bullying that have been on the rise?
So mainly one of the bigger forms that we see is what we call cyberbullying. So digitally, online, social media, texting. Unfortunately, that seems to be the place where we see a lot more incidents happening with young people.
So why do you feel that cyberbullying has increased so dramatically?
There's 2 points to that. Number one is a good one, is that we do see a lot more awareness. So people are reporting it a lot more, and people seem to know that this is wrong and that they're speaking up. And secondly, I think we sort of feel that people are generally they feel a little bit more anonymous online, that they say things that they wouldn't say face to face, and do that. Maybe they feel a little bit safer, that they won't get caught.
And what do you personally feel that students should do if they're being bullied themselves?
First thing, I would love to encourage people to speak up. They're not alone. There's people here to help them. Here at Seneca, we have the Office of Student Conduct, and we also have a code of conduct that students are protected by. So when they make a complaint, there's a formal process that we can walk students through, informal resolution or a more formal one if it needs to be that. And the second thing is I would encourage them, the bystanders of these incidents. So people, unfortunately, these things don't occur just between two people, and they're often people.
Great. So thank you, Rachel, for being with us. Reporting live at the Student Conduct Office, I'm Emil Grant, Say News, Toronto.
Thanks, Emil. Female students at Seneca might want to listen up. Police have arrested a male suspect in connection to the forced sex trade of a 17-year-old girl in Toronto. A warrant for the arrest of 22-year-old Jessica Naufel has also been issued. Jessica is believed to have been an accomplice in this case. Police say the couple intended to use the young girl for prostitution and that there may be more victims. Anyone with information on this case is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. And with Valentine's Day just around the corner, some couples may be looking to heat things up, and hopefully our weather will be doing the same. Danielle Mele joins us now with a look at the forecast. Are we heading into warmer conditions, Danielle?
Well, Christy, not today, but maybe by the end of the week we can see some warmer temperatures. But first, let's take a look at the rest of Canada. So over in the East Coast, you can see a high pressure system, but not much going on there. It's dry and cold temperature, and that applies for Quebec and Ontario. Cold temperatures, but dry, so that's good for us. The active weather is over in the West Coast. Edmonton could see 5 to 10 centimeters of snow today. Over in Whistler, they could see anywhere between 15 to 40 centimeters of snow, and that's because there's a low pressure system as well as a cold front right in Vancouver, and Vancouver could see up to 60 milliliters of rain today. So let's take a look at Seneca. So you can see there's snow covering most of the pathways, but nothing is falling right now, which is good. The roads are clearing up. Although the sun is trying to peek through those clouds, it is cold out there, so bundle up if you go outside. Let's take a look of the rest of southern Ontario. So cold temperatures across the board. This is below seasonal temperature for this time of year. You can see Sault Ste. Marie, -22. Sudbury's seen some sun, -20. Parry Sound, the coldest, -23. Some sun in Ottawa, -16, -15 in Kingston. Nothing but cloud down in Sarnia and London, -14, -12. Barrie sitting at -14. Toronto, overcast, sitting at -10. Let's see if the next 3 days is going to warm up for us. So tonight will be a cool one, -13. Tomorrow, a little bit of sunshine, high of -5, low of -13. Thursday, yes, it's going to go up to -3, but cloud coverage and a low of -6. And finally, for Valentine's Day on Friday, above 0 temperatures. We have a high of 1, but unfortunately, it's going to go down to -15 overnight with a chance of flurries. That's it for weather. I'm Danielle Maley. In sports, Canada is off to a golden start in Sochi and is looking to have some more success this morning. Here's Jamie Collins with all the details.
Well, Danielle, that is exactly what happened this morning as Huntsville, Ontario's Dara Howell and Quebec City's Kim Lamar bring home 2 more Canadian medals in the women's slopestyle event this morning. Here's Howell's final run. She's clean off the top in the technical section. Her final jump nails the 540 bow and arrow, and that was good enough for gold. Now let's look at her teammate Kim Lamar, who's trying to join her on the podium. Off the top of the run, she's perfect through the rails. Oh, I wish I could do that. She sticks the backflip with huge air, then hits the switch 0 spin, perfect landing. She would take home the bronze. Canada dominates this new Olympic event. Jennifer Jones and the Canadian women's rink on the ice this morning, taking on the Swedes. Let's skip ahead to the 6th end now. It's 4-2 Canada. Jones facing one with the hammer. She gets the takeout. It's 6-2 Canada, and Jones is pleased with that one. In the 8th end now, 6-3 Canada. Jones draws to the button. This one's a difficult shot, but she nails it. Scores 3 more and makes it 9-3 Canada. Jones and her team improves to 2-0. Let's move from Sochi to Toronto. The Raptors taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. DeMar DeRozan looking to stay hot. First quarter, DeRozan finds Jonas Valanciunas for the slam over Anthony Davis. Valanciunas finished with 9 points. Early in the third, Kyle Lowry forces the turnover and goes end-to-end for the layup. Wraps up 12. Fourth quarter, Davis converts the huge alley-oop and brings the Pelicans within 1. Late in the fourth, Lowry finds Tyler Hansbrough down low to put the Raps ahead for good. Lowry had 19 points and 12 assists. Raps win 108-101. The 9th annual Tracy Rubinoff Foundation Skate-a-thon is taking place to raise money for juvenile diabetes. Daniel Slanina has been covering the story throughout the day. He joins us live outside the studio. Daniel, where exactly is the money going?
At the Tracy Rubinoff Skate-a-thon, the sound of skates carving through the ice doesn't drown out the sound of the money flowing in. Over the last 5 years, the Rubinoffs have raised $500,000 towards building the new Tracy Rubinoff Diabetes Clinic of the Markham Stouffville Hospital. The wing is expected to be completed in September of this year. All participants were treated to 3 hours on the ice at Ricoh Coliseum, which included music, hot dogs, and pop of their choice. The halftime show organized by the Rubinoff family involved the presentation of the check to Markham Stouffville Hospital, which included a big round of applause. The show even included a race between the two teams introduced in the event's humorous promo. Jamie?
How many people came out to the event today?
Over 200 people were there today to support the cause. I spoke to Jesse Rubinoff, who created the event in honor of his late mother, who said he's extremely proud of the money they have raised since the charity's inception in 2004. The tally is at just over $1 million. Back to you, Jamie.
Thanks, Dan. Now the latest update from Sochi. Alex Goff is chasing a medal with her final run in the women's luge. That's happening right now. In figure skating, Megan Duhamel and Eric Radford are expected to challenge for a medal in the pairs short program, also happening as we speak. And at 12:30, 2 Canadians are set to participate in the first round of the women's ski jump. And for you hockey fans, the Canadian men's Olympic hockey team took the ice again this morning in preparation for their opener Thursday at noon against Norway. That's it for sports. I'm Jamie Collins. While we focus on the stars today in Sochi, Hollywood has lost one of its most endearing stars of the past. With more, here's Nathan Chambers in entertainment.
Shirley Temple, one of the most famous child stars of all time, passed away today at age 85 of natural causes. During the 30s, Temple dominated the box office, starring in 46 feature films, all before the age of 13. The Animal Crackers and My Soup Singer was the youngest star to receive a Grammy and receive the first Juvenile Academy Award. So famous, she even has a world-renowned drink named after her that contains ginger ale, orange juice, grenadine that's chopped off with a cherry, a Shirley Temple. This iconic star will be missed, but we can always have a drink in her honor. Cheers to you, Shirley. The Material Girl is coming to Toronto tonight, launching her luxury gym, Hard Candy Fitness. Madonna will be leading a class downtown for 30 lucky people who get a chance to dance alongside the icon. Madonna says this class is for cardio addicts who love a good burn. Even when she's glistening with sweat, she still manages to look good for a 55-year-old mother. Good on you, Madonna. Now, it's time to look at what's hot and what's not at the box office. Lego is not only a toy that's popular with children, but also a hit with audiences in theaters. For those who aren't fans of playing with Legos, the movie, The Monuments Men, was a smash at the box office. Navon Galloway joins us with this and more as we see this week's box office numbers.
Sometimes the pieces just come together, and that's true of the collaboration of Warner Brothers and Lego in the newest Lego movie. The movie claims the #1 spot with moviegoers this week with $69 million in the box office. The movie revolves around an ordinary Lego character named Emmett, who's been mistaken for the master builder. He must somehow save his world from the evil Lord Business, who wants to destroy their universe by gluing it all together. Critics and moviegoers alike can all relate to the nostalgia of picking up their blocks and creating new worlds. In second place with $22.7 million is the George Clooney World War II film, The Monuments Men. The movie is based on the true story of a platoon who must try to recover stolen artwork from the Nazis and return them to their rightful owners. After riding high for 3 weeks in a row, the cop comedy Ride Along has been bumped down to third place with $9.4 million. A man rides along with his future brother-in-law, a cop, to prove that he's good enough to marry his sister. Audiences are still clearly enjoying the wild ride. Families haven't given Disney the cold shoulder just yet, and Frozen has taken in a respectable $6.9 million. And an honorable mention goes out to that awkward moment with $5.5 million. I'm Navon Galloway, and that's all for the box office. Back to you, Nate.
Switching gears, Justin Bieber may be coming home, but it's not on his own merit. If Bieber is convicted of vandalism following his egging allegations, he could be ordered to leave the U.S. Bieber holds Canadian citizenship and is only allowed to live in the States because he has a work permit. But here's the catch. Under immigration laws, vandalism charges can list someone as inadmissible for work in the United States. A lot of people think this is a harsh punishment for throwing a couple eggs, but Bieber's neighbors think otherwise, as the cause of damage is estimated to be around 20 grand. That's what's topping entertainment headlines. I'm Nathan Chambers. From one Canadian celeb to another, Lori Brownrigg joins us for the latest on Rob Ford.
Our mayor never fails in the area of entertainment. Rob Ford has bobbleheads, a book, and quite the reputation. Last week's release of Crazy Town gave readers a glimpse into his life and got a lot of attention. Is the big screen the next step for Toronto's mayor? Here's Lori Brownrigg with the buzz.
Toronto can't get enough of Rob Ford, and Robin Doolittle's book Crazy Town, the Rob Ford story, made it to the #1 spot on Amazon.ca best-selling list. Now, the rights to her book have been bought by a Toronto-based company, Blue Ice Pictures. Would Seneca students be interested to see Toronto's larger-than-life mayor hit the silver screen? Here's what they had to say.
Hell yeah, because it's Rob Ford. I don't know, everybody wants to see him smoking on screen. Everybody wants to see that video.
I would watch Rob Ford movie because, hey, he's a funny guy. Why not support him? I love our mayor. Go Toronto.
I would, because it seems like it's really interesting. Would you?
I would, because, like she said, it seems interesting and he's a cool guy, and I think he's doing good for the city, so I'd support him.
I wouldn't watch the movie because I think it would just be a parody of Rob Ford. Like, they wouldn't tell us anything about his life. They'd just be making fun of him the whole time.
Rob Ford has become a local celebrity, but not for his mayoral ventures, but rather his controversial ones. Even if you don't like the guy, you can't escape the scandalous videos on YouTube and his presence on the cover of most local papers for partying rather than politics. Most students are interested to see the Rob Ford movie, more so than to actually read the book. Doolittle has said that Ford is a real-life caricature come to life, and the fact that you can't make this step up is definitely what brings a lot of hype to this movie. Christy?
Lori, why do you think students really wanted to see this movie?
I think a lot of students want to see this movie because they're expecting a comedy rather than a political piece, which is no surprise when it comes to Rob Ford's story. Students began talking about who could possibly play Rob Ford, and one student even mentioned comedian Jack Black being a shoo-in. That's my wrap on The Buzz. I'm Lori Brownrigg. Back to you, Christy.
Thanks, Lori. Here at Seneca, a lot of work goes into putting together our daily newscasts. Both TV and journalism students join forces as a team to find the stories and keep you in the know. Videographers Jomo Edwards and Michael Ingram take us behind the scenes to show you the making of Say News.
And Christy, we have 5 minutes to start from top to bottom, go through all the CGs.
So I'll start from the bottom, you go from the top. And what's the story that we're leading with?
Are all the CGs done already?
Yeah, I think we said them down.
All the CGs are done. We're leading with you.
All right, well, Christy, it's not warming up just yet, but maybe by the end of the week, we're going to see some warmer temperatures. Let's take a look at how the rest of Canada is doing. So over in the East Coast, there is a high pressure system, but nothing much going on, just some cold temperatures and dry, which is good news, as well as Quebec and Ontario, cold and dry. What's really...
Presentation. Theater chain Cineplex Odeon reported its attendance rose 1.6% over the last quarter to roughly 19 million visits.
Yes, let's do this. Okay. So one thing we always do before we perform is we do our vocal warm-ups. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Boom, 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 boom.
I got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I got the month of May. I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, my girl, my girl, talking about my girl, my girl.
Yeah. That's our show for today. On behalf of the entire Say News team, I'm Christy Vieira. Thanks for watching.